Here we go. What we are going to attempt to do, that angle is not very favorable. It's too steep right here. It's coming in too steep. So we need to do a slip yoke eliminator. I'm not planning on pulling it out of the truck because there's a piece on this support that's actually welded on that's holding up the exhaust. And I don't have a welder in here. So we're going to drop the drive line, and then we're going to pull this off, take our speed sensor out, pull this out, and then we'll go through and pull all these bolts, and we'll slide this housing off, and then we'll pull out what we need and bring it over on the shelf here and build everything. Oh, also, before I pull everything apart, I'm actually going to drop the front drive line as well and pull this off so that I can slide everything out, and it'll be simpler to do all that when it's all put together. And I have to replace one of the U-joints on that drive line anyway, so good times. Alright, now that everything's clean, we're going to pull the Jeep back in here and get going. Alright, I'm going to unbox everything real quick. That's important. Put that right over there for later. When I say the girls, I mean my daughters. There we go. Some more of that important stuff. Put that over there just in case. You never know. More bubble wrap for the girls. And there is their new tail housing. Awesome. Everything's empty. Always double check, make sure I don't throw anything away. Definitely gonna edit that out. I bought, not everything, but I bought a lot of the stuff. I figured once I'm in there and I got the transfer case all torn apart, I might as well either just replace stuff or be prepared to replace stuff if I need to. There you go. Our new seals, gaskets, everything that we should need. Hopefully there's a couple spares just in case. That's for a different episode. We're gonna get the slip yoke eliminator done first, and then we're going to tear apart the front end. U-joints for the front axle and for the front and rear drive line. We are set up. Alright, now I'm going to move some light around and move the camera around and kind of get set up to start taking the drive lines off. Also, I just wanted to mention I do have a Fab Rats hoodie on. Paul and those guys have nothing to do with this video. I'm just a huge fan. Fab Rats, Bleepin' Jeep, Matt's Off-Road Recovery. God, there's so many. There's a bunch of them out there. I kind of got into watching YouTube a little bit ago, and it's been fun watching those guys get out and do stuff, and it's been educating. I love Bleepin' Jeep for that. They did a lot of educational videos, so that's pretty cool. But anyway, for now, let's tear into this Jeep. All right, now we just need to go through here and get the right get the right tools. Alright guys, now we're down here under the Jeep. And I know some of you guys might be thinking, wait a minute Shane, that's a lot more tools than you started off with. But you're wrong. This is the exact amount of tools that I started out with, obviously. Anyway, we're just gonna break these loose. They're really not on there tight. Like, as you can see, I got a 1/4" drive here. Not a huge deal. I like to break them all first. Break them loose, not break them. I don't like to break them. And there's a lot of different ways to do this. I'm just going to start off by saying there's a lot of different ways to do everything. There's probably right ways and wrong ways, and I might do a lot of the wrong ways. But the important part is that we get her done, and that, you know, obviously that it holds up. I don't claim to be a mechanic. I never will. I'll never say that you guys should do something a certain way. But I do think it's important that you do, you know, what you're passionate about. I love doing this stuff. If you guys are out there and you want to do this stuff, or you think you might be interested in doing some of this mechanicking, building stuff, and then going and playing on it, give it a shot. You know, one of the reasons that I'm doing this, well, I'm doing this for a couple reasons. One, so that family members and friends can kind of follow along and see some of the stuff that I've done. And I'll show some before and after pictures. Like, I just started filming, I just got this camera, but when I got this Jeep, it was just a little guy, you know, little stock tires, and it was squatted in the back pretty good. And I was able to get a lift and some new tires, extend the brake lines, all that stuff. And I kind of want to prove, mostly to myself, that I can build a rig like this and I can go have fun with my family on a budget. I got this Jeep for a really good price. And, you know, so far, even with everything that you guys are going to get to see me install on it, I'm under $2,500. Granted, I was looking for this Jeep for about a year before I bought it. And then I finally find the right one for the right price. And away we went. This is the only thing other than that wheel chock holding the Jeep in place. So I'm just gonna make sure I'm gonna put something behind these back tires. And then we'll pull this out, get it out of our way, and then we can get going on taking out this tail housing and tearing this bad boy apart. All right. We'll just set all these up here in an organized fashion. Let's see if we can pop this bad boy out. There we go. And, oh, voila. That was a good shot, huh? So like I was saying, when you pull that, you're gonna lose some of your transmission fluid out of this tail housing, so make sure you have something to catch it. And we'll just clean that up. See, it's like it never happened. All right, before we get too messy, I think I'm looking at taking the front driveline off as well. So that I can get this off so I can pull everything out. And that sucker is going to be on there pretty good. So here we go. All right. Now we're going to pull these off. I got don't have a small enough ratcheting end wrench, so I got this little guy. This was actually out of a set of open end wrenches that my papa gave to me. They're in the coolest carrying case. I will show you. Alright, I told you guys I was going to show you this. Well, this is something that my papa made in the leather kit, and then he gave to me. It's to travel, so throw in your Jeep. Got all your, we got 1.25 inches all the way down to 1/4. We're missing that one because it's underneath the rig. But you toss it in your Jeep, you stitch this up, then roll it up and wrap it, and then even if you roll your Jeep or whatever, your tools will all be together. They're not going to scatter all over the whole trail. So this is awesome. I love it. Thank you, Papa. Wobby, son of a gun. So the top bolt here that's in the back, the one that's the hardest to get to, it's not there. So I guess that's the easiest one to get to in our case today. We found a couple little treasures like that on every vehicle. That's the first one I found on this vehicle. This guy's actually in really good shape, especially considering the price that I paid for it. I paid $700 for this Jeep. The guy that I bought it from is a total stud. James, if you ever watch this, you're a rock star. Thank you for helping contribute to this dream. And just so I don't bore you guys, I'm actually gonna fast forward through all of this. I'll do that one more time. Here we go. Alright, we got the 3 bolts out, and we're just gonna pop this guy loose. And really, we just need to get it out of the way enough to get into here. Now we're going to pop it into 4-wheel drive so that doesn't spin like that. And then we'll knock that off. I'm not going to be able to ugga-dugga it, so we'll have to get the whole 1/2 inch on it, maybe get the pry bar if we have to, and pop that puppy loose. And then we'll be clear to move over here and start taking apart our tail housing. Okay, so I got up in the rig and I put it in 4-wheel drive, and that doesn't spin no more. And I got an 1 1/8 socket, and that bad boy fits on there just fine. We're gonna put an extension on him. See if I'm man enough to make this loose. Not bad. There we go. Just like so. Now we're ready to slide around back and start taking all that apart. I'm going to move the camera and set up, and I'll see you in just a second. And we're back. One of the first things we're going to do right now, because I'm thinking about it, is we're just going to nice and easy, without breaking this, because that's something that I'm super not good at. I always break those. I'm going to pull that off. Just tuck it up and out of the way for now. we're going to break this one loose. Easy. And then get wonderful. I continue to be amazed by this Jeep. Everything has gone so smooth. When I was putting the lift on, all those bolts came out way better than they had any right to. Let's see. Oh, and I keep forgetting to tell you, but this is the 231J transfer case. It was funny when I got this Jeep, I don't know why, but I thought it had the other transfer case. I can't think of what it's called right now. And I was actually looking for one of these, a 231, that I was going to buy and do the slip yoke eliminator kit and everything, build it, and then just swap them out. And then when I actually got under here, because the truck used to sit like this high off the ground, but once I got under here and started working, I realized it was the 231 and I didn't have to go find one. I was super excited. All right, we got that. Easy peasy. I got all the wrong sizes. So you guys are never gonna see that, so it's all good. Let's see. Okay, good to know. I will be back. Let's see. I'll do that first. Let me get in here. Now that it's good and tight, we're just gonna go ahead and break it loose. All right. I usually like to break things loose by hand. I just like to feel what I'm doing. And then pop it off. Now, if you haven't watched anybody else's tutorial on how to do this, I strongly suggest you do. Matt at Bleep and Jeep does a really good one. But just in case this is the only one you watch, you want to make sure that you know which way this is facing. You're going to loosen this. This is our speed sensor. For what we're doing, this is facing towards the back of the rig. And that's all we need to know. There we go. It slid right out. Beautiful. Alright. Now, I'm going to go down to a 10 millimeter. Like I said, I know it takes a little bit more time, but I like to be able to break everything loose by hand. Just feel it. And then you know, maybe the person that put this together the last time, I don't know if they stripped them out. These all feel the exact same, like they were torqued, which is comforting. Alright, now I believe there is a snap ring right here that we need to get out. We'll see how much this fights us. Also, again, when it's on my mind, like this tail housing and this And even this, we're not going to use. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm going to beat the hell out of it when I'm taking it out of this rig, because we can use it for spare parts. I mean, we can sell it on KSL. There's a lot of people out there that are looking. You know, maybe they've got maybe someone out there has a factory transfer case that they just broke, and they're just looking for a factory shaft. And we got one right there that we're not going to use. So that's another reason that I'm only into this $2,400 so far, because some of the stuff that I pulled off this stock, I was able to sell to people on KSL that were looking for the stock versions of it. So just little things like that. Don't trash this stuff. Just because it's no good to you doesn't mean somebody else out there isn't looking for it. You know what I mean? You can help yourself and help someone else out at the same time. Here we go. Nice and easy. It should slide right out. Beauty, eh? There we go. Red Loctite, blue Loctite. You can feel the difference. When in doubt, grab every tool in the friggin' drawer. There's two that look like this. The rest of them are like this. And then there's that little guy that we pulled right off the top. The different ones are right here in this corner and right up here in this corner. And then you got 3 and 3. And the middle one up top is that one right there. As soon as you're like, oh no, I'll totally remember that. You'll forget, guaranteed. Guaranteed. Come on.
You'll need an app for me to help with that. Try searching in the Apple Watch app on your phone.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah. There it is. Here we go. Make sure you have a hold of your oil, your pump right here will fall out. You got your pump, there's the pickup tube, and it looks like that little O-ring right there on the pickup tube. I'm going to pull that off and put it back up inside the pump. So you don't want to lose this spring. Alright, what we're going to do is we're going to pull this and this out at the same time. Here we go. There we have it. There we go. We're going to go right up on the bench. We're going to grab this magnet right here. We'll clean it off. And for now, we're going to leave this. We're going to run up to the bench. And we are going to come back and we are going to clean all this off before we put everything back together. Alright. Now, we're up here on the bench. Okay. I'm going to pull this guy out. Set him right there. We're going to pull that off. We have a new one. I'm just going to set it up like that just so I don't forget. Kind of set him out of the way. Now this guy, we're going to pull him off. Set that guy out of the way too. So we're going to pull that guy out and then just slide this whole thing off. Let's see how much this one fights us. Beauty. Easy peasy. Okay. Now this should just lift off. It should all come off. And we ran in to our first snag. This is our problem. Inside here, you've got these bearings. See, this one, this one. This is a different size than that. So those bearings sit right perfect on those, but they're not going to sit on this. So what we have to do is we have to knock them out. And we don't have a press. We do not have the proper equipment to do this. So I'll tell you what we're going to do. I know, I can hear all you out there just go, no, no, don't do it. But, I mean, that's kind of the point, right? I don't have a shop, I don't have a lift, but I still want to be able to do this kind of stuff. So, we got to get creative. We got to find new ways to do things. And this is how we're going to do this today. I'll be right back. Guys, we're gonna go to Moab and we're gonna do a bunch of sketch. I'm gonna back that up because I swore. So guys, we're gonna go to Moab and we're gonna do a bunch of sketchy stuff in this Jeep. Why wouldn't we do sketchy stuff while they're building the Jeep? All right, so far, this is working perfect, but I'm 100% certain that the camera is bouncing all over the place. Bam. Well, there's that first one. So we got both of those out, and most importantly, we didn't do any harm to the inside of that. All right, now let's clean up our press here. It's important to have the right tool for the right job. Now, these should slide right on. This guy back on there. Give her a tap. Boom. Boom. Alright. We got that guy back locked in place. That's holding everything together. Alright guys, we're putting this back together. I took and dumped a little bit of ATF in there. It's a little more than I dumped last time, but it's all good. Just spin that around because I don't want to put anything back in there dry. So now we got that. Okay. These guys are ready to go back in the truck. There we have it. but we got our yoke on. We did grease on the outside and RTV on the inside. I will show you on the front what we did. Sorry, ran out of battery, couldn't film that one. I already had the RTV on it. Now we are going to put our speed sensor back in. And to do that, I'm going to put some ATF on this. Now remember, we had this pointing back. Like just like that. Before we forget, let's go ahead and plug this back in. Boom, good to go. Alright, now the back is pretty well done, minus obviously adding ATF and then hooking up the new dragline. I kicked the transfer case in neutral. That way we can get this lined up right where we want it. It looks like that's where it wants to live. This angle is much better, and we got that double cardigan right there. It will now handle a lot more movement. So last time our battery died and I couldn't film this part, but I'm putting these yokes on, grease on the outside, RTV on the inside. And just line it up. Slide it right on there. Get that nut started on there. Once you get a good start, make sure we just slap her into 4 low. Back in neutral. And there we have it. One slip yoke eliminator installed. I'm gonna let this cure overnight, throw some ATF in there, and we'll be ready to roll.